Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's video. So, as you all know, I played my I played an OTB tournament, which is the State Amateur Championship, and because of which I wasn't able to stream, I wasn't able to pay attention to much of the social medias, and so yeah, there because of which there were no YouTube videos coming. But and also I was super busy preparing for my tournament because this tournament was very important one. It was a very big tournament, and like I had a chance to get qualified for the nationals, but unfortunately I was just this much behind the points. But yeah, so my overall score was 5.5 out of 9, and I will be making the recaps in parts. Like for example, this video is going to be the part 1 of my tournament recap. The part 2 and part 3 will be coming either, I guess, by tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, so let's not waste any much time and let's just get back into the games. So my first round was against Krishiv Sureka. And by the way, guys, I would like to specially thank my two coaches I've been working with. First is FIDE national instructor Somil Nair, and also with national instructor Andrew Horn from South Africa. Andrew Horn is the streamer. He's a very popular streamer on Twitch. His Twitch channel is chess heroes, so make sure to follow the channel, guys. And he was a they both were a fantastic coach, and I will be looking forward to work with them for my further tournaments. So yeah, they are amazing. They were super fun and to work with, and they really put some great efforts on me to improve my to develop my game. And sure enough, their hard work really did pay off in this tournament because I'm gaining 15.6 rating points in this tournament, which is a great deal for me. And in this tournament also I had some great results as well. I mean, one or two results were quite disappointing, but the others were very great. So yeah, so anyways, this is the round one of the state championship, and I was playing against Krishiv Soreka, who is an unrated player, and I'm playing with the black pieces in my first round. So also, by the way, guys, maybe you got the spoiler that I won this game, so maybe yeah, I'll make sure to hide this. But yeah, but anyways, you are if you want to check out the game, then yeah, you can watch the entire video. So anyways, guys, so my opponent starts off with e4. I went with d5. By the way, guys, there will be no engine on, no analysis engine on, but yeah, only at crucial point if I feel like turn on the engine, but then only I will turn on the engine, so to check the position. So yeah, so I'm normally playing my prep opening, which is the Scandinavian. So in this tournament, I was only prepared with Scandinavian if against e4. So so yeah, I know Scandinavian is a very tricky and very weak opening for black, but the player who is prepared with this opening must know all the lines, and I was very prepared with that. So my opponent took on d5, knight f6, knight c3, knight takes d5. So here basically what you should do, instead of knight c3, what you can do is either play like the line goes with bishop e5 check, bishop d7, and let's say after bishop c4, or maybe like after bishop e2, I can just simply grab the pawn. This is how the line goes. Or maybe there is another line where generally if you play bishop b5 check, I go bishop d7, let's say if he goes there, then maybe I can play c6, or maybe I mean b5 is also worthy. So um, so yeah, uh, that didn't work. That didn't happen. Instead, knight c3, knight takes d5, knight takes d5, and queen takes d5. So basically this is a now this is quite a good position, like kind of an equal position, because now even though I mean white's pieces are not developed, or although my queen is at least developed here in the position itself, but now knight f3, bishop g4. Now here I was spending too much time on, I mean, I spent, I guess, 4 minutes on this move because I was thinking whether I should go with bishop f5 or whether I should go with bishop g4. Because I mean, the idea with bishop f5 is, let's say if white goes d4, then I always have queen e4 check with winning back the c2 pawn. that was one of the main line I was wondering. But I thought, okay, bishop at g4 is also a good move, because after bishop e2, let's say I can maybe try to go with e5, or maybe bring the knight to c6, something like that, bishop e2. But here I chose to play e6. So here I was thinking about d4 as well, but I thought that d4, d4 not, mm, I mean d4 could have been a move. But yeah, I mean, I was like, okay, let's play safe move. Let's play e6. Try to bring the bishop. Try to activate the bishop and everything. Try to short castle. Those were my plans. So quite simply short castles. Bishop d6, and now rook to e1. So here I basically castle. Here I was also here at this point. I was also like thinking whether I should go knight d7 first and then castle, or maybe I was even thinking about, like, let's say knight d7 and then maybe long castle. But long castle, then I was also kind of worried about if a4 a4 b4 ideas, which white can start anytime. So I was like, okay, let's just short castle. Let's put the king safe first, and then let's develop the knight. So he went h3, I played bishop f5, and now d4. So here I played queen c6. Here what I so yeah, so here basically I could have won knight d6, but I was also worried about c4. So I was like, okay, c4 not looks good for me. So I was like, okay, let's play queen c6. He went c4 anyway. So now here I played rook d8. This is a very tricky move, because here's a small little trap. So if we go c5 now, let's say, so I will just simply take the pawn, because you can take, because of the rook is going to capture the queen. Your queen is hanging. So yeah. So this didn't happen basically. But yeah, so he went a3. I think he was playing kind of a waiting move, and he was also planning to go with b4 ideas as well. So here I thought, okay, queen d7, let's go queen d7. So here my plan was that, okay, I will allow c5. I will allow him to play c5, so that I can play bishop e7 and then go with bishop f6. So try to put some pressure on this pawn, which is what exactly happened. So c5, bishop e7, and now after bishop f4 I play bishop f6. Also here, by the way guys, instead of bishop f6, I could have even went knight c6. But the problem was, I was afraid of, not afraid, but I was like, okay, why would I give counterplay to my opponent? Like after bishop e5, let's say, I mean, I always have a6, bishop a4. But yeah, I mean obviously b5 won't work, because after opposite. And yeah, I mean, I was calculating too much of lines here. So I was like, okay, let's just simply play bishop f6. And after bishop e3, so defending the pawn, I simply went a6. So idea is to stop any bishop b5 ideas. So now I'm threatening to play knight c6 to put some pressure here. Bishop c4, and now knight to c6. This pawn is a weakness I'm targeting. He went rook e2, which I thought that, okay, he's planning to go with rook d2 ideas, because after, let's say, I take, knight takes, bishop takes, he wants to go rook d2. But I always have e5. So I was too much calculating here, but I was like confident about this move. So I just simply grab the pawn, knight takes, bishop takes, rook d2, and now e5. But e5 was a bluff, also was a bluff for me, because now I asked him to play f4, which is a huge blunder, and he instantly played the losing move. He forgot about the piece. He forgot that the f2 pawn was actually defending this bishop, but now he just blundered his bishop in one move. Also his rook. So I was like, okay. And immediately when he plays this move, I look at his reaction. He was like so upset with himself. He said like oof and like that, like the players do. So he was very upset. So he missed this move. And after bishop takes e3, this was a simple game. Rook takes, f takes e5, bishop e4, trying to target this pawn now. And here, surprisingly, guys, you won't believe what my opponent played. My opponent played bishop takes f7. I was like, what? He's giving up his bishop for no reason? Because I mean, after king takes rook f1, I always got rook f4 too. I mean, what is this? And now you have to trade the rooks, otherwise the pawn is gone. So after rook takes, bishop takes, my opponent here resigned the game, because yeah, I mean, I'm just too much material up, and this game is completely winning for me. And I was kind of upset that I mean, why my opponent did that unfortunate move, but yeah, it was just. And if I show you the position right now of this game, so if you look at the position now, I mean, I was better. I am better here, but until I guess, yeah. So at this point, my opponent is completely better, having these two good pawns. But this pawn is always a target, so I'm always threatening knight c6 after a6. By the way, so which plan he helped me to execute. So this was an easy game to start off with. So this was the first win of my round one, and so now we come to round two. And round two, I was facing a very strong player of the tournament, a very strong player. He was a kid, and Shlok Mali. He's 1800, and when I saw his FIDE profile, I saw he played this one tournament before this tournament, and he gained over 80 or 74 points, rating points, where he was almost 1800 or something like that. I mean, 1797 is a very great score, great rating, and and before this round, I was like, okay, I mean, this game, I don't know. I mean, with white, if I even hold a draw, is fine, but yeah, and you already saw the spoiler, but yeah, I mean, but look at the game. Just this was a crazy game, even though it was against a strong player. This was an absolute crazy game. So I started off with e4. uh Wait a minute. So I started off with e4, opponent, and my opponent played c5. So I was prepared against a Sicilian as well, because I know that many people are going to play Sicilian in this tournament. So I was like, okay, I will play c3. This is like a Alapin, and Alapin is kind of a drawish line, but if you play every move perfectly. So knight f6, e5, pretty normal stuff. Knight f3, knight c6, and now d4 takes d6, knight c3 takes. And here, by the, oh sorry, my bad. Oops. So here, by the way, guys, this was a mistake by my opponent. This was a mistake. Why? Because why would you take the pawn? You could simply take the e5 pawn, because let's say after pawn takes, knight takes, queen takes queen. I mean, either knight takes or king takes, simply an equal game. So it's not a very huge deal. But knight takes e3 was not a good move, so I immediately took, and after takes, here I should have just taken with the pawn, I believe, or maybe just I don't know, just take with the pawn, because after taking with the pawn, after let's say queen takes, this pawn is well defended. I can maybe now bring bishop f4, queen to c. Like no, I mean not queen. Sorry, I mean bishop to b5. There are not so many things I could have done. I was like, okay, I will take with the knight. This was not a good move. So knight takes, and yeah, he stopped me from castling. But yeah, after, I mean, I wasn't sure if bishop f4 was a move, because bishop f4, I don't know why he played that. Because after f3 check, I just play king e1, bishop to f5. Uh, Bishop e3. So my idea is to target not only this pawn, but also my idea is to go bishop d4. He went king a8, king b8, trying to defend the pawn. I went rook d1. I was like, okay, let's just trade off the rooks. So he took, and now e6, trying to bring the bishop. Now I guess what he can do is play bishop a3 and bishop b2 idea, so that he can target this pawn, because this pawn is also a very huge weakness. Also, he might bring the bishop, let's say here, and try to bring the rook here to attack this pawn. I mean, okay, I always got bishop d4, but still. So I went bishop c4, and after bishop a3, I played king e2. This was a huge blunder by me, because um, what I should normally have done was to play king d2, I guess. I guess king d2 was the only move which I could have played, because after that I could play king bishop d3 and just try to, I mean, yeah, this was just a huge mistake from me. So after king e2, my opponent plays rook c8. He found the best move, because now I'm losing the pawn. I can't defend it. I mean, okay, I mean, I can play bishop d3, but he's a very good player, obviously. He will take the pawn, and after bishop takes, pawn takes. Yeah, I mean, this is just, yeah. I played bishop d3, rook takes c3, bishop takes, and he's just completely a pawn up. And at that moment, I was like so frustrated by myself. I was like, oh man, what did I just do? I just gave him the pawn, and now I'm cooked. So I went rook d1. So I was like, okay, I won't resign. I mean, obviously, this is not a position to resign, but yeah, I mean, this is just kind of game over now. But yeah, I will still try to play with my rook and bishop. I still got some pieces. Yeah, rook c2. I went king f1. I didn't even bother to play rook d2 because rook d2. I mean, I don't want to trade with loose like with the pawn down. Also, this pawn is about to fall anytime because once the king is activated, he can put pressure on this pawn. So I was like, okay, king f1, king c7, and a rook d3, attacking the bishop. And also, let's say I was also planning if he takes, then I can also take, and there are a lot of lines I was calculating like rook c3 ideas or maybe rook b3 ideas, something like that I was calculating. So he went bishop c5. He saw that idea, wants to trade the bishop. I was like, no, no, no bishop trade. And now I'm trying to go some with some tricky lines. He went king c6. I went rook d8, trying to go with trying to do some shenanigans on the king side. So yeah, he played rook f to check, king e2, and he won another pawn. And the idea is I gave him this pawn because I was like, okay, maybe he's too keen on grabbing these pawns so that I can maybe once my king is closer to this rook, and I can just play a check and I just take this bishop. There's some tactics. See, these tactics I was thinking, hopefully he would fall for it. So after king c6, after rook c8 check, he went king b6. I played a4. So the idea is if he goes rook a2, let's say, I mean, I don't know what my idea was. I guess rook a2 and yeah, rook a2, and if check, then he can play this, and yeah, this also doesn't work. Also, I mean, I could have also gone with bishop d2, and my idea is to quit a5. This was one of the plans I was considering. So he went bishop d4, and here I made another mistake. I played rook c4. Here instead I should have just gone rook d8, but yeah, I mean, I don't know why I didn't play that. So I played rook c4, and now bishop c5. He just blocked my rook from coming to the rank, and at that point I was like, ah, man, he's playing so good. He's gonna defend it. He's gonna win this game. I played bishop g3, just some moves I'm randomly playing. And now g5, and now he's now coming with an attack. He's now coming f4, and so many things is about to go. I was like, okay, let's play f4, stop that. He went g4, blocking everything. I played king f1, rook g1 check, king e2, and here he blundered. h5 is a huge blunder. h5 was the only move. I mean, here you what you could have done is simply play rook a1, bring the rook to the other side, and just play the normal moves. But here he played h4, which is a huge blunder. h5, because now rook takes c5. Here I sacrifice my rook because now after king takes, bishop f2, and if he let's say if he goes rook g2, then I mean just simply king f1. Yeah, because if I go king bishop f2, then he will just take the bishop, and after king takes, and just king takes rook, and I'm just completely doomed. So that also I kept in mind. So if let's say rook g2, I have to go king f1, and if he takes, I always have this intermediate check. So yeah, this wasn't going to work. So and then I look at my opponent reaction. He was like so upset with that move. He was like this. So I was like, okay, this is my chance now. And I don't know if and at that point I was like, I don't know if it's a win or a draw for me. I don't know. So after takes, I played bishop f2, then king d5, and I took, and takes, and yeah, I was like, okay, if I mean, it's still complicated position because he got three pawn versus one here, and it's still not looking good for me. At that point, I was thinking like that because I don't know, he might have some chance. I was just shuffling around my bishop, playing some random moves, bishop just shuffling around, king f5. I was also ready for three fold. He went king g5. I played check. So I was stopping him to go come with king h4 ideas. I mean, even if he had come king h4, even if I had allowed him to keep play king h4, I always got this check, so I wasn't worrying about that anymore. So yeah, I was shuffling around bishop b8, and here he was being very tricky. So after g3 check, he was like, okay, I can play h3 h2, but yeah, I always had king g2, and after takes, and after he took the pawn, while he took the pawn, he offered me a draw, and I was like, okay, sure. I mean, because look, I mean, okay, I could have played some waiting moves like king h1, something like that. But I was like, okay, if I play king h1, he can bring his king closer. So let's this, and yeah, yeah, I mean, okay, I could have gone for the win here, but yeah. But if I once I but as soon as I looked at this position where he just a second. So once I look at this position, I was like, okay, I want to check if it's winning for me or not. So when I checked this endgame, I was like, so engine was giving me 0.7 plus 1. Yeah, it was like winning for me. But at that point, I was like, no, 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 no. I will just play. I will just like, yeah, I will just accept a draw because I don't know. After bishop c7, what if king d5? Just yeah, I mean, I didn't knew if it was when working for me. Like as you see, engine is dropping. It's a draw. It's a complete draw. It's just it's very hard to And at that point, I was so tired, and he since my opponent was such a strong rated player, I was like, I'm happy with a draw. And that with that, I managed to hold a great draw, strong draw against this guy. This guy went on to finish fourth in the tournament, and he went on to win every other games managed to except I managed to draw with him. He just had a draw with me, and in the other games he completely won every game. So I was like, okay, I'm feeling lucky, to be honest. But yeah, it was actually a crazy and but a lucky game because I mean, if not for this blunder, if not for this blunder, like as you can see, look at this, black is completely winning, and just as this move, yeah, this was the only move which anyone can, this was the only move which costed him the entire game. So yeah, even this is not wait, even this is not even working. Wait, what? A5. Ah, okay. So this is also not interesting. So A5 check. So if king here, okay, then bishop takes, and then I mean it's fine. It's I mean okay. So it's still okay. So it's still kind of good for me. It's still yeah. Look at this h4, and I took the bishop. He took back. And yeah, okay, so here what he had done, what he should have done, king b4. Oh yeah, he should have gone king b4 because now he can try to win with the passed pawns. Ah, okay, I missed this one. Oh man, I need to analyze this game a lot, I guess. I analyzed this, but I was like, okay, I mean, kind of, it's a draw, but yeah. Anyways, this was a crazy game. As I said, this was a very bad game by both the players actually. So yeah, on to the next game and the final game of this recap part 1. So I was playing against another 1783 rated guy, so almost at 1800, Shagra Paliwal. And this game was also a crazy game because this game I was kind of better in the opening, but it's just that during this game I was not feeling much well. During this game I was very tired. I was very much exhausted by the two because the second game was the exhausting one because it took me almost 1.5 2 hours to complete the game. So I was like so exhausted. But yeah, I mean I had to play, right? I won't even, yeah. So my opponent started off with knight f3. So, and here I was thinking for about 2 minutes in the opening itself because I was like, okay, knight f3 is something which is new played by any opponent against me. So I was like, okay, I'll just play d5, g3, knight f6, bishop g2, bishop f5. I was just playing normal moves, bishop e2, bishop e7. And now see, so now here I was thinking about to capture the pawn. I was like, if I capture the pawn, but the knight can come to d4, and he's also threatening this and this. So I was kind of not confident to take this pawn. So I was like, okay, I will just first castle. He took knight, pawn takes, knight to d4, and bishop e6. So this was also, this is not a good move by me. I mean, I guess I should have just got bishop e4 because the idea is to allow f4 f3 to block his own bishop and then come back to g6. Also, I missed bishop d3. Bishop d3 was a crazy move I missed. And after rook e1, let's say, then I mean, okay, I mean, I don't know. Let's just play like c5 and yeah. So this was a move I missed, and I played bishop e6. It was a bad move because now white got a target. e6 is a target now. So queen b3 attacking this pawn. I went b6, e4, and now c6. And after bishop s3, I was like, okay, this pawn is gone, I guess. And also, I mean, I could have. I mean, I was thinking about this as well, but I was like, I don't know about this. I could have just taken the pawn as well. I don't know why I didn't take the pawn. I guess because after knight takes, I was afraid that after bishop takes, king goes there. I mean, I don't know why didn't I take the pawn. As I said, I was very tired during that game. I wasn't thinking much. I wasn't in the right mind. So I was like, okay, playing just a stupid move and some stupid game and e5 and after knight d7. Yeah, this is completely. So here I took the bishop, rook takes, queen g5, attacking the rook. He played queen e3, which is a great move. Queen g6, and yeah, this game was a very unfortunate. Knight f3, queen to h5, attacking the knight, and now king g2, which is also a great move. The knight b, as you say, I am doing some shenanigans. I don't know, some useless shenanigans with this knight. I don't know why. Also, my knight doesn't have a great square. My knight doesn't have a square indeed. So yeah, I was thinking if he wins, I was hoping that he would go e6 so that I would go knight f6. So at least I will have a great square for my knight. But yeah, he never went. And when he went, it was too late, like for me. So yeah, he was developing his position, and he finally went e6. But yeah, after knight f6, knight f8 check, king g8. Yeah, this is just completely lost for me. And yeah, as you can see, this was a great move, attacking my queen. I missed this move actually, and after and knight g4 is also a blunder by me. It was a miscalculation by me because he always got queen f4, which I missed, and my queen doesn't have a square, and my knight is gone, and I don't have a further attack on the queen, so I had to give away my knight. So yeah, this was an unfortunate game. So I took on f queen takes f5. So I was like, okay, if he takes, I can just play knight e3. But yeah, I mean, still I'm going to lose a piece. So, but he simply went for the simple move, which is bishop takes g4, and I resigned the game because there was no use to play. And also I was tired, so I was like, okay, there's no use of wasting my energy. I need to prepare for my next rounds next day. So yeah, so I resigned this game. I lost this game, even though I had some advantage in the opening. I just played some horrible moves. So yeah, so that's it for part one. And as you saw, this was the day one was kind of, I would say, kind of good for me and kind of bad because the first two games, like the first game, obviously was an easy win for me, but the second game I just managed to hold a draw luckily, even though I also kind of had a winning kind of a advantageous end game. But it's just that I was exhausted and all. But and in the third game I just played horrible. But yeah, so yeah, thank you so much for watching this one, and stay tuned for my day two recap, which I will be posting, I guess, day after tomorrow, and or maybe tomorrow as well. I don't know. So and the day three I will be posting day after tomorrow if I post my day two recap tomorrow. So yeah. All right, guys. That's all I got for you today, and yeah, get out of here.